Yo, yo,
What's up, family?
good. Was good with
What's
it,
that
family.
word? Hey, man, chilling, man. Got back from the gym, ran a mile today. Back on it.
Hey, was the chat? Was the link in the chat?
Yeah, it was just taking a long time for me to get in.
You
It
trying
was
to
the feed. It's in the feed.
Yeah,
can
that's what I
you
mean. It's in the feed.
can one of y'all do me a favor? Can y'all copy and post it again? It's not showing on my thing for me.
Uh,
What's that word? How we doing? How we doing, man? Another day.
Man, waiting for these levels to hit.
Come on.
Man, I'm ready to attack. I know it's annoying waiting for these levels to hit, but it's the best thing. Being patient.
Oh yeah, always gotta respect the price, bro. That's one thing I always learn. Like, and if you don't, you're gonna get burnt every time, bro.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my mama. I was sick about that Google Play at first, but I was like, man, it's gonna be another opportunity in the market. It wasn't for me.
I mean, if
No,
you
you
see the
can't
market
harp
now,
on it.
if you look at the market now, the market actually tanking after hours, and we're gonna go over some charts early this today. I want to show y'all some stuff that I'm seeing early, man. Um, man, I think we I think we finna be bleeding for a little minute.
Yeah, I hope.
He said, I hope.
And man, it's been going crazy, bro. Ever since we took off from what? We took off from 6,300, and
Hmm.
it's been nonstop.
Yeah, it's been nonstop for real, for real. Let me see. Get a couple more people on. Yeah, I think everybody trickling in now. Let me see. Got a few more. Yeah, we're gonna get to these charts early today because I want to show y'all some stuff that I'm seeing on the chart. That's no. Let's see. Pull this up real quick and we can get to it. WTC real estate in the game. WTC real estate. But how everybody doing though? How everybody doing though before we even talk about these charts? What's the temperature?
What's good
How you
there?
feeling? What's up, family?
Chilling, man. How y'all doing?
Another day, man. Nas, what's that
Mm.
word, man? Seeing you got some
Man,
profit this week.
trying to stay low, trying to stay low. But yeah, trying to stick to the rules really, because it's just like, I knew it was like it could run past 170, but that was my goal. I was like, once it hit 170, because I saw the gap fill, I'm like, I'm gonna take profit there, leave one to run. And then I saw it run to 175. But look at today, I'm like, I'm kind of glad I did what I did just because locking your profit, load up for the next one, and then kind of do that stuff. Just trying to stay disciplined and, you know, that's the
And
name of the
then
game.
Nas, real quick, tell us why you got in that play. Um, and then what was your goal getting out of that play? Was it like 50%, 60%, 100%? Talk to us.
Yeah, so the reason I got in was I saw it ran up to like 170. I think it was 177 was the all-time high. Um, and then I saw it gap down after earnings, double beat, and then it bounced off of. Let me see if I can show you what I had on the chart for it. But I had a pennant flag on the chart, and it got down, and then it bounced off of that on the upside. So I saw that morning star off of that to the upside. So I kind of thought it was going back up, and then my goal was kind of thinking what Ian had said on Market Monday. He was like, gaps will always fill to the basically if the stock normally goes up, the gap to the upside will always fill. So I'm like, when I saw that bounce back to the upside, I'm like, all right, it's gonna go back to 170 at least, because that's where that gap started. So once I saw that, I'm like, all right, I'm gonna hop in, I'm gonna get two, and then I'm gonna let one run because I have time on it till September. But when I saw that was my goal was take profit at 170 because that's where that gap was. I'm gonna sell one there. It just happened to be 100%. That wasn't the goal, was 100%. The goal was I'm gonna sell at 170 because that's where that gap was, and then I'm gonna let one run and then just kind of load up and be ready for the next one.
That's fire, family. And then you said you got out what percent? At the
It
one contract?
was it was like 105, 110, something like that. So
That's
it ended
great.
up being 100%, but it was just kind of really just sticking to where the chart was saying it might reverse here. And then kind of what I was seeing on the chart was like every other time that it gap filled to the upside, it
Yeah,
rejected and turned back to the downside. So I noticed like the last 3 or 4 times that it gap filled to the upside, it reversed back and it came back down. So I'm like, all right, it's probably going to do the same thing. It ran up a little bit past that, but it still
yeah,
turned back and it rejected back today with, kind of the broader market sentiment. But that was my whole game plan was it's probably going to reject back to the downside. So I'm going to just get in and then get out by that point and then load up and get ready again. I really wanted to get back in today because I saw it gap down again. And I think it's going to
hmm
go back up and go fill that. But just kind of with the whole sentiment and what you've been saying about you think it's going to go lower, I'm just kind of waiting a little bit. But I think it's going to go gap fill again because you see there's another gap that's kind of where it gapped down this morning and went down to today. I think it's going to go
yeah.
back and get that, but I'm going to just kind of wait a little bit longer and wait till I get back in.
Yeah, that's smart, bro. And one thing you just said, bro, is well, a few things you just said was knowing your targets. You know, you got 100%. You cool with that, and then just being patient. Like you didn't pull the trigger immediately. Like one thing that you like to do in this market, or well, I'll say a lot of people do, is once they see profit or once they got money in their account, their biggest thing is pulling the trigger. Do you know how hard it is to have money just sitting in your account and not do nothing? That's probably one of the hardest things to do.
Very
When
hard.
you don't have money in your account, it's easy not to pull the trigger. You can't really buy what you want. You can't really put this play in. But when you got money sitting in your account, cash is sitting there, that's probably one of the hardest things to do and just sit
But
there and
that's
not
and
do
that
nothing.
exactly, especially when you coming fresh off a win too. You like, all right, let me get another one. Let me get. It's like, but you got it. No, no, no. Let me sit. Let me wait. Just
That's
because,
it.
you don't want to overtrade.
It
You don't want to.
dropped.
You don't want to overtrade. You want to blood an account because you don't want to give it right back to them. Right, just trying to be greedy. So you kind of gotta take what's coming to you, be patient, and just wait for it to manifest itself.
That's it. That's it. Exactly. And obviously we've been doing this for a minute now. So if you're new here, man, this is the market. You know, sometimes we running hot and we cooking, but then sometimes you gotta start being very patient, right? Always remember this. If you got your notes out, if you got your pen out, cash is a position. Cash is a position. You got people that's buying to the upside, you got people that's buying to the downside, but they never tell you one of the safest positions to be in is no position at all. And
No
that's cash.
position at all.
And
Hmm.
that's cash. So definitely Niles, keep going, bro. That was good.
Proud of you, brother.
Appreciate y'all. Appreciate y'all.
Let me show you
Word. That's fire, Niles.
what he said.
My family.
Oh, he said $5. Let me show you these charts. I want to go to these early today, because SPX is showing me something that we all need to be aware of what could happen over these next couple of weeks. Y'all can see my chart.
Yep.
Yep.
Okay, cool. All right, cool, cool, cool. Let me see. Let's go to the daily. I remember Keys said, "Oh, that's why you go to the daily and the weekly and the monthly." Yo, when you zoom out, you get a bigger picture of what's going on. That's it. That's it right there. So here, SPX, I want to show something. I want to show you something that looks a little similar to what we've already went through. So let's look at this. So our high is up here. One thing I always like to do when I pull these charts up, remember, green means the market is going up. Red means that the market is going down or that candle is going down. First thing I like to always do is mark off where our high was, right? So it looks like our high close was around where we touched 76.18, but our high was 76.09. We seeing that high close. And what I mean by high close is you got this candlestick, you got this candle here, right? You got this wick right here. I'm gonna zoom in a little bit. You got this wick up here. That means that's not where the candle closed. That means that's where the high of the candle was. That means that's where the high of the candle went. That means it went up here, it touched up here, but it didn't close up there. Wherever this body closes at, where it stops at, like this square right here, that means that's where the candle closed at. And then on the downside, we can see if it's red, that means the candle closed here. Okay, so the last high close was here at 76.10, right? That was the last high close. So what I'm looking for is I want to see if we can push back over this 76.10 to give us more strength to keep going up. Okay. That's what I'm looking for. If we can get over this 76.10, stay on top of that and push, that means we got strength and we can push to the upside, right? But look what happened. Yesterday, market sold off. We gapped down, we came down, right? Today, where we open down here. How do I know we open down here? Because I told you last week, this is a green candle. So when it's a green candle, that means the opening has to be on the bottom somewhere. That means it went up. That means the opening is on the downside somewhere. And so the downside right here, it will be here. This is where we opened at and where we closed at. We closed here. Remember, I told you our previous close high was here. We closed here. So what is that showing me? That is showing me that we haven't developed enough strength to get us back to the upside for this bull run to continue going higher. So, So what am I doing? Why I've been in the chat? Nate, you ain't put a play in. What are you doing? What you waiting on? I'm waiting for confirmation to see where we're going, right? If you know, June is one of those bearish type of months. And how do I know this? We can go back to last year. What were we doing in June? Let's see. Let's see. June. There we go. June of last year. Look at this. June, we were flat, right? So we came into June around 59.63. And you can see that number over there. We went up, we came down, we came out of June. Look at this number right here. This last candle, one of these last candles in June, 59.63. Usually towards the end of the month, towards the end. I'm not saying July 1st. I'm talking about probably the last week of June. Look at this. The last couple of days of June, we usually burst out of that consolidation and we burst to the upside. I want to show this a little bit here. And this is last year during Trump's first year in the market. Let me see. Get this trend line. Okay, cool. Yep, trend line. Let's go on here. Boom. And we go boom. Okay. Here. Right? So from June, we came up, we stayed into this area, right? So all of June, you really didn't see any crazy gains in June. And then towards the end of June, we finally broke out of there and we continued that bull run. So what I'm showing, and if history repeats itself, June could be a flat or a consolidated month, right? And what does that mean? If we consolidate it, that means we either going up and we coming down, or we just kind of staying in the same little range right here, right? That's what consolidated me, okay? And then look at where we are today. Look at where we are today. June, few days in June, finally get a good little red candle, but today, yes, we finished green, but it wasn't strong enough to get us back to the upside to push forward, right? So what that means is, now I'm waiting to see, do we continue to keep falling, or what does this next candle look like tomorrow? If you can see after hours, I don't got the after hours put up on here. We can look at the NASDAQ though. Look at this NASDAQ right here. This is right now, currently, the futures market right now, today.
Went to the downside.
So this is where we closed at today. Look at this. I want y'all to see this. Red line is where we closed at 4 p.m. today. Since the market has been closed, this candle here is what is going on in the market right now. Hmm. So what does that tell me? That tells me that that previous high that we talked about, it wasn't strong enough and we still weak. Okay. So, like I said, this is Thursday. This was today. We closed here at this red line. This was our close when the market closed. The market right now, if you go look at your Robinhood, if you go look at your 24-hour markets, you will see this red candle for the NASDAQ showing that the market is bleeding right now. Hmm. You're like, damn, Nate, how did you know? Why didn't you put a play in this whole week? Why you been waiting? Bro, when you've been doing this for a while, you start seeing different patterns that have to play out, right? They have to play out, right? Last year, or not last year, me, 2 years ago, me, 3 years ago, me, even really last year, me, I'd have been like, man, that was a pullback. Let's get back in. Let's put a play in. Everybody, let's get in this play. Like Now said earlier, he said, man, I know you said, Nate, you waiting to see things kind of, I'm gonna be patient. The market right now, NASDAQ is down 300 points, bro. NASDAQ is down 300 points. If you put a play in a day, if you didn't take your profit out, you're probably gonna see some red over this next week, bro. Right? So where do I think we're going to? Let me see. I always try to find um dynamic support. I heard Trap talking about that too. It's a good word. Dynamic support. Let's see. Dynamic support. This could be a good line of support. Um, this could be a good line. Let me see. Really in this zone. All right. And remember, like I said earlier, I was on the phone with Keys and KB. I told him, I said, yo, bro, be patient. Shit, bro, we had a green day, and those people on Twitter talking about we had a green day, bro. We had a red day yesterday, green day, bro. We back good. June just
No.
begun, bro. We 3 days in, right? 4 days in. What us 4 days in? We got a long month left. And this is how we starting the month off. Red candle, red candle, red candle. This is follow through. If this third candle sticks tomorrow, we could be headed downwards for another week or two. Or I'm not gonna say that long because the market don't stay that long, stay down that long, but we could be headed down to one of these consolidated areas down here, get some more support, chill before we go back to the upside. Is that making sense for everybody?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And so typically, um, usually I'll say when we need a cool off, this is the last area that we had a cool off. I'll show you this trend line. This is the last area we had a cool off. Area right here. I'm gonna change that color to um yeah, let's go yellow. And then we'll go here. Let's go here. Seeing this? All right. So with this yellow here inside of this showed us, how long was this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. It took us about 11, 12 days to break out of our last cool down where we needed to kind of chill a bit. 11, 12 days. When we look in here, let's see where we at. Hmm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. We could count a couple of these candles, but we got to see how far we go. So what I'm seeing right now, I don't see any heavy support here. And obviously the market don't either. The market, this is a big red candle right now after hours. Big red candle headed to the downside. Okay. So next week could be really bloody. Tomorrow can be really bloody, right? And I say bloody in retrospect because the market been cooking, bro. Like this is not even really bloody for real. Like And like when you really zoom out and look how far we've came, like come on, bro. From down here in March 31st, about April 1st, down here in the 22,000, April 1st, April 1st, all the way up here. Come on, bro. This is, let me see what percentage this is. Let me get my ruler. Let me see. Look at that down there. What does it say? 34% return. 34% return in about 2 months. 34% return in 2 months. That is not, that's, and that is crazy, bro. 34% return in 2 months. This is an index, y'all. This is not a stock. This is an index. This is an index. So, bro, tech been going crazy. We need a cool off. We go from here all the way up here. We kind of need to calm down to around this 28,000 area, bro. And that's why when you see me like, Nate, you're not putting in a play. What we waiting on? Like, you're not saying nothing. What we doing? Bro, be patient, bro. Always respect the price. And this is just business one-on-one. This is investing one-on-one. Our goal is to be able to buy something at a low price and sell it at a high price. Asymmetric risk. I want to risk a little bit at a great area and get a 5, 10x return on my investment. I'm not trying to risk $100 and make 150. No, I'm trying to risk $100 to make 1,000. 10x return, 1,000% return. But to get 1,000% return, you gotta be patient. You gotta wait. You gotta wait those couple days out. You like, man, I'm just standing around not doing nothing, just sitting on my hands. Yo, the one that can be the patient, like the one who can be patient the most is the one that's gonna get paid the most. Say it again. The one that can be patient the most is the one that's gonna get paid the most. So what I'm looking for us to come down to this area down here, 28,000. So if the Nasdaq's here at 30,000 and I need a $2,000 sell-off, we gonna be a little bloody. We're gonna be a little bloody. I can already tell you now, I seen after hours what Dram was at. After hours, Dram was at 61.
I
Right?
think
That's
once
all.
I hit that 58, we good.
Huh?
I
I
was tight.
think
I got a little
50.
push.
What was that saying, brothers? Yeah, so this Dram right here, you say y'all see that 58?
No, I'm asking.
Oh, okay.
For
So what I
40,
see, anybody
47.
got their Robin Hood? What they see on Dram on After Hours right now? Y'all see it? Let me see if I can pull it up. Let me see if I can pull it up. Anybody got it up?
61.
So Dram's at 61 right now after hours. Okay. How did I know that we was gonna get a cool off? And I told you you can gauge where the market is and the sentiment of wherever things are. I know some people say the RSI, it don't matter. Bro, it does matter. When you've been running high like that, bro, that stuff does matter, bro. Look at this RSI down here. If y'all don't know what the RSI is, the RSI is the relative strength indicator, right? This shows you the momentum and how strong a stock is basically moving. Okay, this is what this is down here. Usually when you're above 70, 75, 80, 85, up in that range, 88, which Dram got to, that means there was so much money being piled into this thing so fast that the deviation of this thing was just starting to be off a little bit. It was starting to get so high, money pumping in so fast with no pullbacks that it's about time for this thing to come back. So usually, Warren Buffett has buy when others are fearful and sell when others are greedy. In this case, when you see the market cooking like this and high like this in these RSIs, that mean, man, it's a lot of money being piled into that thing. A lot of money being piled in. So if I see a lot of money being piled in, this might be a cool area for me to start taking some money off the table. So when Dram hit, what is this up here? 70, right? It came up here at 69.70. If you looked at that RSI up here at 81, you're like, man, that thing is cooking, bro. This might be a good area to take profit. What do we do on Monday? Yeah, we took profit. So Wednesday is when it hit 70. About Monday, Tuesday, around 67, 68. I remember when we took profit, right? So 67, 68 is when we took profit. But always remember this, y'all. Securing profit is never a bad thing. You know why? Because us taking profit on Monday and Tuesday around 68, if you waited 2 more days,
Yeah, good.
Dram is at $60 right now. And it looks like it's headed down lower. It looks like it's headed down lower. Okay. So that is why even if you a day early, even if you 2 days early, even if you a couple days early, knowing that you got your money in cash sitting on the sidelines, that's never a bad position to be in, bro. Never a bad position to be in. Bro, we have people on this call that got in the ecosystem less than 2 weeks ago. Started with 300, $500. They send about 3,000, 4,000 a account. Other people that started with 2,000 a account, they sitting at 10 grand off of Dram, off of Light, off of these plays, these new plays that we put in the past couple weeks. You got guys sitting in cash. They text me, Nate, what we doing now? What we doing? Like, bro, I'm like, I'm waiting. Bro, we've been waiting for a couple days though. What we doing? Bro, you have to be patient
Yeah.
in the game, bro. You have to be patient in this game, bro. You have to. So, like I said, if you didn't sell at 70, you're down at 65 and you didn't sell today, right now after hours, Dream is at around $60. Dream is at $60. Okay. So if Dream is at $60, where do I see it going? Remember, Dream is based off of the memory ETF, and that's based off of one of their biggest holdings, which is Micron. Hmm. Man, don't that look a little similar? Let me do these side by side so y'all can see. And y'all can if y'all upgrade y'all trading view, you're gonna be able to put these side by side so you can actually compare the index compared to the stock. Look at this. Let me see. I think this is on the 4 hour. Yeah, let me see. 1 day. Cool. So if I'm looking at this and I'm like, okay, Micron, which is one of the biggest holdings in Dream, and look like this doji candle up here, right? Okay, cool. It didn't burst out of there and it slowed down. Let me look at Dream. What did Dream do? Man, that candle looked just like that candle. What did it do the next day? Micron sold off. What did Dream do? Sold off. Hmm. So what you want to do is, okay, if I can see how Micron is moving, I'm going to get a good tell of how Dream is going to move, right? And this is just for the people that are only want to trade memory and only looking at the memory index. And you can do this per stock, per ETF. So if you want to do with NVIDIA, you can do this with SMH, right? If you want to do this with like AVGO, AMD, you can do that with SMH, right? If you want to do that with other things, I'll show you how to do that as well, okay? But memory right here, I can see, Micron dropped from 1,079 down under 1,000 again. Big sell off. Drams almost 70 down to 65. So after hours, it looked like Micron is down another 50, 40, $50. Okay. Down to 950. Dram is down another $4 or $5. Okay, cool. So I'm starting to see as an investor moving forward, I'm going to start watching how these indexes are moving and these stocks are moving, and I'm going to be able to make a good judgment off of what I want to do next. Another index that everybody should always be looking at is SPX, right? I want to talk about SPX. I'll talk to Keys and I'll talk to Keys and I'll talk to KB about this earlier. SPX is moving a little weird right now. Why do I say that? SPY is moving a little weird because you see companies like Micron. So from 1,079, right, down to 996. What does that mean? That means we dropped how much? We dropped about $83 today. Say it at the top up there. Y'all see that? 83 up here in this corner right here. Y'all see that? $83 is what Micron dropped today. You're like, damn, Micron dropped almost 8%. That's crazy, right? Micron dropped about 8%. But what did SPX drop today? SPX actually went up 30 points. You're like, okay, that's weird. Okay, let me see another stock. That's Micron. Let me see Sandisk. Okay, same with Sandisk. We closed yesterday at 1831. We closed today at 1750. Hmm. So we dropped what 71 points today. Y'all see that up here? 71 points. So if it dropped 71 points, but SPX was green, why are all these stocks super red, but the index is green? SPX SPY is green. You're starting to see some rotation happening inside of the index that if you're not paying attention, you'll actually get caught off guard. What do I mean by that? So while you see memory, you see DRAM, right? Red. From here to here, that's red, right? You see SanDisk. From here to here, that's red. You see Micron. From here to here, that's red, right? I wanted to see where's light at. Light. Let me see. That's not light. Sienna. You see Sienna from here to here, that's red. But you seeing SPX move green. So what you're starting to see is certain stocks are red, but then you actually start seeing certain stocks like Nvidia was green today. All right. SPX is green. Nvidia was green. Who else is green? Who else?
Netflix.
Netflix. Okay. So now I'm like, what's really going on? What game are they really playing that we're not paying attention to, bro? Look at this. Goldman Sachs.
Super green.
If you was in Goldman Sachs, you made a bag today. Okay.
Really?
SPX is green. Okay. Let me see what else is green. Eli Lilly, super bag today. Closed here, popped here. Okay. AVAV, all these companies, right? So you can go down your list. Caterpillar green. You can go down your list and you can see all the companies. Even UNH was green. United Healthcare, right? So you start seeing that a lot of the companies in the index, or you'll start seeing that these big dogs, these institutions are rotating to different companies that actually keeps the market up while other companies need to take a breather. So what does that mean? So that means, so if you start seeing memory falling apart, down 80, down 90, down 100, but you're seeing companies like UNH, Robinhood up $6, Google up $13. You start seeing companies like this moving higher. You're like, how are they green when all these other companies were dumping? That means you start seeing money rotating into these companies that actually keeps the index up. So typically, once you see a broader market sell-off, you'll see SPX sell off. You'll see a lot of these companies sell off, right? Or if you see the leaders, if you see Nvidia, if you see Google, if you see Microsoft, Meta, you see all of them sell off. Usually, SPX is probably selling off. Usually, QQQ is probably selling off. But now you're starting to see this rotation. That's how you know there's different players in the game. When there's different players in the game, that means there's so much money that's piled into the market now. It don't even matter if this sector over here that's been leading starts falling off because it's so much money piled in the game, right? So a good analogy is like it's like um hmm, I'm trying to think. So back in the day when like when you had like these sports teams, right? In the NBA. So imagine like the ABA when you didn't have 30 NBA teams yet. You only had like say 5 or 6 or 7 good teams, right? Once you had these few good teams, if the Lakers were doing bad or if Boston was doing bad, that means the league numbers are probably not doing that good. But now you got teams, if the Lakers ain't doing too good, or if the Boston not doing too good, you got New York and you got San Antonio that are actually in the finals that are actually keeping the ratings up. So what you see is like, damn, there's actually bigger players, more money, different fans that are actually keeping the market up, not like it used to, but this new version of this new day of keeping of playing this new game, right? So I hope that makes sense, that analogy. Like instead of having a few good teams, now you got hella good teams. And what that means is that that's really it's good for the index to keep the market up, but it's like, what happens when SPX does sell off, right? Which I think we're going to get over this next couple weeks, right? What happens when SPX does sell off? Does that mean the whole market is going to sell off, or does that mean a certain couple big dogs are going to sell off, right? So that's something that I'm paying attention to. Another thing I wanted to look at, what was it? It was Google. I wanted to talk about Google and Bitcoin. Yes, we were going to go over Google and Bitcoin. Let me see. Google and Bitcoin. Yesterday, KB was talking about Google, and I was like, man, always. So something I do, I'm like, yo, wherever I'm about to put a play in, or if I say, hey, I'm thinking about putting a play in right now today, right now today. I usually put a line there just to see how that stock is performing, just so I can get the imagery of, okay, this is where I entered, this is how the stock is performing. Yesterday, KB said I'm looking to get in here. Okay, cool. I put a line there where KB said he was looking to get into. He said, yeah, the gap fully ain't filled. I'm with him. I seen the same thing. He like, I'm cool. I'm not gonna put that play in. I think I also seen Trap. He was in a Google Play. I think he got out of his Google Play because he said, man, this gap ain't filled and it looked like it's going lower. So today Google popped and it didn't go fill its gap down here to go get more money to push it back to the upside. Hmm. So what you call this is that you call this, he talked about it too, just a mid gap or inter gap reversal. So that means the stock entered this gap that it had, it gap from here to here, it entered it, it found some base here, and it popped eight and popped $12. Typically, you could say, "Man, I missed it. I'm upset." But mind you, guys, if you're not day trading, let this thing play out. Because what I see, and let me know if y'all see it. What I see, just to see, I see a head right here. I see a head right here. I can see a shoulder over here. And I'm waiting to see what this does tomorrow. So if we see the market selling off, hmm, who knows what can happen here? Who knows what can happen here? So never beat yourself up like, man, I knew I should have gotten that position. Dang, I knew it. Like I missed it. Bro, it's been one day. Let's see what it do from here. Let's see what it do. It could pop to the upside. Okay, cool. We missed one stock. We missed one entry. It's thousands of stocks, bro. But let this thing play out. Let it play out. If this is not a part of your rules, hey, it came down and filled this gap. I love it. I'm grabbing it. If that's not a part of your rules, bro, don't beat yourself up about some money that you missed. Bro, there's so much money to be made. There's so much money to be made. All right. So we're gonna see how this perform tomorrow. We're gonna see how it perform over the next week. Okay. And then what is this? 359 to 372, 11, $12 move. That's probably a 20%, 30% return anyway. Mind you, we're not in this game to make 20%, 30%. We in this game to get 100%, 200%, 1,000%. And to get that, we gotta wait for these deep pullbacks. And what we doing now? That's making sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Okay. Is there any stocks that anybody want to look at before I close these charts?
GEV
G
and light. What the fuck?
GEV and light. Okay, great.
If you got a chance, take a look at Arm too and Marvell.
Oh
Arm and
yeah.
Marvell. Okay. Okay, great. So GEV, I got this parallel channel up here. Let me close this up. Got this parallel channel up here. Man, so GEV looked like it came down to this 930 area. Looked like this little gap right here. It looked like it came in touch, and it looked like it could be back to the upside. Right? We don't know that yet. We don't know. That's why we gotta let this thing form, this pattern form, and we're gonna see how it goes from here. But if you looking at this, we got a high here, we got a lower high here, and then we got another lower high here. Right? So these lower highs, boom, boom, boom. These lower highs are showing us that we are getting a sell-off to the downside. Okay. And so once we came here, looks like it was a good little base right here. And GEV might be ready to go. Might be ready to go. Right.
Do you think we should be cautious even though we're in this month with
So this is
that?
so that's why I was telling you earlier. There's certain stocks that you got to pay attention to that when the market is selling off, there's money that people are circulating money inside for safety, right? And so a couple of those companies are going to be, like I told you, they're going to be healthcare,
Yeah,
right?
industrials.
Healthcare, industrials, I'll say energy on a deep sell-off, um, precious metals. So you'll start seeing all of those companies kind of stay consolidated, or they actually be a little green when the market is actually selling off. Right. Right. And then if you look at GEV's RSI, just to see how strong the momentum has been, they're closer on the downside than they are on the upside. All right. So they're on the closer on the downside than they are on the upside. So the GEV could take off, right? Or GEV could head lower, right? GEV could head lower. So that's something that I'm watching for GEV. We just got to see how this thing play out over the next week or two. Okay. And then let me look at light. You said light. And I want to go over Bitcoin. I want to look at Bitcoin too. Okay. Light they ass up. Okay. So light, man, light is so volatile, bro. Um, if you don't got the nuts that hang in light, I wouldn't even touch that joint, bro. Light'll be up to almost 1,100, and then in a few days later, it'd be at 800, right? And then in between, just going back and forth in between. If you can't handle that volatility of up 100, down 100, that's not for you. That's not for you. That's not for you. So looking at light, it looked like it was a good base down here. This heavy level of support here, right? And when y'all see, remember this, when y'all looking for y'all support and y'all looking for y'all resistance, y'all looking for, like in football, it's like the line of scrimmage. Where is all the action happening? Where is the fight really happening at? Right? So when you look back, when I seen this touch up over here, when I seen this fall off, I'm like, that's a line that I need to be cautious of. I need to be looking out for that line. And then I come here, it come up, it come down, it come up again. That line, I need to be paying attention to that line right here. And then it goes up, it comes back down. What line does it touch? It touches this line again. That's something I need to look out for. Then we consolidate, we consolidate. Look what line it came back and defended again. This line again. Hmm. Okay, cool. We pop out of there. We got a high up here. That's something I'm looking out for. Actually, let me scoot this down because that was a wick. Looking at this close. Okay, cool. This line here touched it, closed. It came and touched again. Got weak. Got weak. Look what line it came and touched again recently in the last 2 days. That same line again. Touched it perfectly. Look what happened when it touched it. Boom. Touch. Ran back to the upside. Hmm. This line, this area again up here on the top side. So you start seeing, okay, this can be resistance up here. And this line down here can be support. So if I'm a trader, what I want to see is I want to see this thing come down here again. If it touches again, I want to buy it and ride with it all the way back to the upside. How far is it going to go up? I don't know, but I've seen from previous history when it gets in this area around 1053, it usually sells off again. So if I'm a trader, once it gets back down here around this 805 area, I want to see if I can grab something, stay in it, and where am I looking to take profit? I'm gonna see if I can take profit in this 1050 area again. That's a 800 to 1050. If you playing with weeklies, if you playing with a monthly, if you playing with 2 months, that's over 100% on the play. You got $1,000, you done made $1,000 off that play. 800 to here, and you took profit. Or if it comes up here again and it stays consolidated, I can buy puts to the downside. If I buy puts to the downside, this 1052, where am I looking to take profit on my put? This it look like this line keeps being defended. That's where I'll look to get out of my put. So when you starting to trade, the best thing that you can realize in the beginning, for me, I say is support and resistance. If you can understand where the support is and you can understand where the resistance is, you can set yourself up for success. There's multiple other things and multiple other ways to trade. There's different patterns, there's different moving averages that you can look at. There's different indicators, all of that. But I say as a beginner, the biggest thing that you should look for is where is the action happening on the downside and where is the action happening on the top side. If I can find that on the top side and the downside, I can set myself up for what I want to see moving forward. All right. So that's Lumentum, and then Bitcoin. I want to look at Bitcoin. Look what Robinhood did today. Mind you, I told you we got in Robinhood back down here in the 67 area. We've been in the 67 leap all the way to 2027. So when Robinhood been popping up and then popping down, bro, we just been riding a wave. We've been riding a wave. Um, I feel like if Bitcoin recovers, like I think it is, ain't no thing, I know it is. Bitcoin always recovers. Um, I think Bitcoin could push this thing to the upside, and Robinhood can be back to low key where it belongs, up here in this area, over at least over 100. Needs to be over 100. So we already up what 150% on this play, and we got it to 2027. So if you got 10 G's, you sitting at about what 15 G's in this play. So sitting about 25 G's just sitting in this play. If you got 1,000, you sitting at 2,500. If you got $100, you sitting about 250, bro. So and we just sitting in it. We got it to 2027. We up over almost, I think it was like 150%. Um, and I think Robinhood has way more room to run. Way more room to run, right? Same with this one. Last one I'm gonna show you with this. Why did I like it down here? I feel like this is a good support area down here. Like, let me pull this down. Yeah. And if you look at this over here, this touch right here, that would be an area of resistance that I need to be looking out for. Okay. Same thing here again, came back up again. We broke above, but I still like this area. I want to pay attention to this area and this area right here. We go up, we push. Okay, now we on a decline. Where is it coming back down towards? This area, look what happens. This area again, we get down here, we strike. We strike down here. Why do we strike down here? This area look familiar. This area look familiar. Once we came all the way down, we stroke again. We in that play. So now we in this play. Robinhood look like it's headed to the upside. Mind you, this is Robinhood getting strong as Bitcoin is getting weak. So what happens if Bitcoin starts to get strong again?
To the
Hmm,
moon.
to the moon. So this can be an easy, if we hold it, this can be an easy 500%. Bro, we're already up 150%. If Bitcoin roars back, Bitcoin is at 60,000, bro. Bitcoin touched 120 something thousand. If Bitcoin remotely gets back to 80,000, 85,000, 90,000, I wonder what Robinhood can push to. Wonder what Robinhood can push to. So that's a play that we in. And mind you, I'm thinking about stacking a play on Robinhood, right? I'm thinking
Yeah,
about
I ain't
stacking.
gonna lie. I stacked a couple of Robin Hoods going up. I
Yep.
did the
So,
70, 110, 125, that 150 kicking my ass. So, but
yep.
it did go positive. During one of these streaks that went on in the past week or so,
Yep.
2 weeks.
Yep. So I'm seeing Robinhood. If Robinhood can come back down to this 400 MA over this next week or two, if Bitcoin get weaker, it can come down to 80 again. I thought it was gonna do it today. If it can come down there, I wouldn't mind putting in another Robinhood play. I wouldn't mind putting in another Robinhood. Mind you, guys, I like Robinhood. You don't have to be the richest investor. You don't gotta be a trader that's been trading for years and years. Bro, Robinhood's $80. This is
Uh-huh.
also a good time to buy shares. Bro, buying shares in the 80 range, 67 range, once it gets back up here to 120, 130, 140, bro, you done made 100% on your shares. On your shares. All right. Right. But the question is, are you going to be patient enough to wait for that right price that you're looking for? So if Robinhood pushes, it's gonna be an easy. Um, if you put in 10 G's, if it gets to 500%, you're looking at a cool 40, 50 G's off of this play. Right? I know everybody got different accounts that we playing with. Some people playing with a couple $100. We got some people with 200, 300,000 in their account. We got some people with 300, 400,000 in their account, and we got people in between. Right? So you put in 10 G's, 67. You already up 100%, you up 10 G's, 10, 12 G's. And what happens is you actually going to start seeing people that are in these plays for a year, 2 years, 3 years, like Troy be doing, that are already up 100%, 150%, put in 10 G's, up 15 G's. You're going to start seeing the 15 G's they up quadruple to 30 to 40 to 50 in one play. Bought time, bought a good asset, and you bought on a good discount, man, anything can happen, bro. Anything can happen. You can change your life through this game, bro. You can change your life through this game. So, yeah, that's what I'm looking at. Let's see, Bitcoin. That's what I said. Last thing I'm looking at. Bitcoin, 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 Bitcoin. Man, Bitcoin been fighting, boy. They've been fighting, bro. They have been fighting. Look at this RSI down here. Look at this RSI on Bitcoin. Hmm. Y'all see this?
Yeah.
Look at this RSI down here. I'm trying to think what's the lowest it's done ever went. Horizontal. What is that? Down 9? Shit. Let me see. Yeah, 9 look like the lowest it's ever went. But what are we looking at? So I'm looking at under this RSI, typically when it's down here for a while, what usually happens? To the upside. Down to the upside. Down to the upside. Down to the upside. Down to the upside. In this range, Bitcoin typically reverses around. Hmm. Hmm. Down to the upside. Past this line, down to the upside. Down. Where are we at today? Hmm. We down here. Hmm. So what I just said about Robinhood, if Bitcoin's down here, hmm, and it reverses, all the Bitcoin proxies, your MSTRs, your riots, your Robinhoods, right? If it's a crypto mining company, even your XRPs, even those altcoins, right? If Bitcoin is struggling down here, usually what happens when it's down here, it bounces and goes back to the upside. This is why it's important to study and it's important to look at what's going on and what's not happened in the past. So if Bitcoin is down here and it looked like it's possibly headed back to the upside, or the selling pressure could be over soon. I'm not saying it's over now, but if it can be over soon, this would be a good reason why it could be headed back to the upside, or it can give you a good indication on around the time frame it could be headed back to the upside. Okay. I hope that's making sense to everybody. Hope that's making sense to
Do
everybody.
you think that the upside stretches out to the cycle,
Cycle as in what? What
the
you mean?
Bitcoin cycle? Remember we was talking about it yesterday, and it comes in October.
Oh yeah. I think J. Cole was talking about J. Cole on here.
Yeah, I'm in here. I believe follows the cycle. It should bottom October, and then I think when's the next halving? Last was 2024, so should be what,
What's it, every
2020
5 years or every 4 years?
every 4 years. But usually the bull cycle starts about the year before. I got all this shit written down. I got to pull it up in my ChatGPT.
Yeah. Let's see.
But one thing I was thinking in October, um, strategy leap, micro strategy,
Okay. Well, give me
because
give me your give me your reason why.
because the way I look at strategy is kind of like Bitcoin with leverage. So
Okay.
if that really ends up being, the true bottom like it was the last few times, then your return on your strategy leap should be better than your return on your Bitcoin buy. Although the Bitcoin that's more of a long term hold, but you could double play that. Like you could buy the Bitcoin and jump in the strategy leap.
Mm, okay. I like that. Okay. So that's something I'm gonna put on the radar, MSTR, or a strategy. But what you think about this Michael Saylor and all this stuff that all the comments around him and Bitcoin and them holding it. Do you think people are conspiring to bring Bitcoin down just to mess over Michael Saylor himself, or what do you think? Or is it just the cycle?
I think it's possible. I mean, they own a lot of Bitcoin, but I don't think I don't think he's gonna sell significant amounts. Like I think he's gonna go down with the ship if they came down to that. So um, that could be. I mean, I've seen people say that it could be a conspiracy to get him to get him out, but I don't think he's budging. Like I think he's willing to go down with that because I think he done made so much money doing this already. His conviction is so high. So. Yeah, I don't see him selling significant amounts.
Gotcha. Okay.
I
All
think when
right.
you owe that debt, that's the thing. He's borrowing against his what's the name. So that's
Shit.
why they're trying to get him out, bro, because he owns the most Bitcoin. So if you own more than every country, everybody else, you own the most Bitcoin. We know that this is about to be the asset of the future. Why in the hell will we not get you out of it? And the only way that we can get you out of it is by reversing your strategy. So if I drop this price of this thing and I force all the big companies who are adopting this to get out now, right? That is going to cause them to then sell their big that's going to cause them to be like, all right, well, I will have a deeper gain on this asset once he gets out, right? So they will own more. So it's a win-win for like a Chase or BlackRock or any of these big financial institutions that are adopting Bitcoin. It's purposeful. Hey, we'll take this loss now, but we'll get it at a way better price than we were originally paying for it, right? And then we will control this asset a lot longer and a lot more. At least that's the thought process that I have behind it. Because they don't, you got to think, bro, that's like if Michael Saylor owned the dollar. Let's just put it in perspective like that. If he had the most money in the world and owned majority of the US dollar, right? And you're not the country, but this is something that you are pioneering. Remind you, the US is pioneering cryptocurrency,
Right.
right? But they don't control all of the cryptocurrency. So wouldn't you got to get the big dog out who owns all of it? Just
Gotcha.
a thought, you know.
I
Gotcha.
think one of the reasons he could get in trouble is the was it STRC, the dividend stock. You know,
Yeah.
they pay like an 11% dividend on they
Yeah.
on that one. So that I think that's the strategy of them trying to like choke him out because he's forced to pay that dividend. The dividend is the
You got
guarantee,
to.
but then as Bitcoin, he's got all that debt and his basically he's in a predicament because he got to still pay that dividend while the price is going down and he's carrying the debt. So
Right.
I
Yeah.
see the I do see the angle of people saying it's conspiracy. I get why they say that because he is kind of in a fucked up position.
They
Yeah.
like, nigga, you gonna go broke one way or the other. You gonna cough, you gonna cough up this Bitcoin one way or the other. You either gonna get choked. Think about it. We're gonna ruin your reputation, or you can fall in line.
Mm,
Simple as that. We're gonna ruin your reputation by saying, hey, you can't pay your dividend. So is that gonna cause anybody to want to invest in you? Or you seen soon as he sold a piece of his Bitcoin, nigga, the whole market started going down.
well, I seen
Like,
that. I seen Mark Cuban and the other couple billionaires sold their
yeah,
Bitcoin a couple weeks ago as well. And then I think Trump and his I think his son sold some Bitcoin as well a couple weeks ago. Right. One thing I'm noticing is they usually get out weeks prior to something actually happening, right? Or they usually get in weeks prior before something takes off. So that's something that I'm definitely paying attention to. Even these next couple weeks, I think KB put this in the chat. A couple things that we just need to keep on our radar, just around all of that, just to keep if risk gonna stay on or risk gonna be off. June 5th tomorrow. Keys that said it earlier, the jobs report. Next Tuesday, we got CPI. Next Wednesday, we got PPI. And then the week after, we got the first FOMC. So this is the first time we're going to hear from the new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh, June 16th and June 17th, and his decision on the first rate cuts for the market. Mind you, just put your Trump glasses on. This is my
ain't this
man.
ain't a ain't this convenient? We got this going on right now.
This is my man. We got him coming into the Fed chair in 12 days. The market's starting to show signs of bleeding. If we know the market don't be bleeding for a long time no more, so today's the 4th, the market's starting to bleed. He makes a decision on rate cuts on the 16th. During that time frame, the market can kind of chill, it can recalibrate, people can take some profit, people can load up higher. Trump glasses, hmm, that's something that we need to pay attention to. On that 17th as well, retail sales, and then I think KB had put in there, we need to watch out for oil, the 10-year treasury, and just the headlines around the Iran war, if we getting that stuff done. Another thing that we should be looking out for, June 12th. So that's Thursday, right? Next Thursday, June 12th, is the day SpaceX IPOs. Next Thursday, SpaceX IPOs. And they're saying it's looking to be priced at $135 a share. And then I seen a report today, Fidelity has lowered its minimum account from 500,000 to participate into the shares to about $2,000 in that account. I'm gonna say it again. Fidelity has lowered the minimum account requirement from 500,000 to only $2,000 to participate in the shares for SpaceX. What does that mean?
What? Yeah, what is that? Do you mean like buy it before IPOs? Okay,
Pre-IPO.
Nah.
That no, no.
pre-IPO.
So, yep. Pre-IPO. If you want to participate into the pre-IPO shares, you can go to like Charles Schwab, you can call Fidelity, you can call Robinhood, and you can say, "Hey, I want to get access to these shares." And so what they're going to do is it's not a first come first serve basis. It's more of like a lottery where hey, usually you got to have this minimum of money in your account to participate in a pre-IPO. The number that they had is typically 500 G's. You got to have minimum 500 G's to get access to these shares before IPOs, like a week before IPOs or a couple of days before IPOs. They're now saying you don't have to have 500,000. All you got to have is $2,000.
They about to dump on their ass.
Listen, I'm thinking this is why J. Cole, my dog. I'm like, man, they done lowered the minimum from 500 G's to 2,000. Everybody named Mama got 2,000. Everybody got 2,000. And so I'm seeing reports saying, oh, the demand is just going to be so off the chain that, they just want more people to participate around the 2,000 mark. No, bro, if you put your glasses on, when is this society, when is this economy, when is this government ever really looked out for us? When have they ever done that? So you got some knucklehead around here. Now I'm not even call him a knucklehead. Somebody that's new to the game that really not weary of what's going on, the tricks and gambits that they be playing. I got 2,000 to my name, and they've been talking about this SpaceX IPO for the last couple years, bro. I got 2,000, bro. That's the stock that's gonna get me rich, family. Like I only got 2,000. No, 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 real
This
talk.
nigga,
Real talk. Real talk. I got 2,000 to my name, bro. Like
put it
that's
on the
the one.
line.
That's the one, bro. Like I seen the Trump coin, I seen the Doge coin. I didn't get Bitcoin. I didn't get Nvidia when the IPO. I didn't get Cerebrus. I didn't get none of them. But this one, the most anticipated IPO ever, bro. They said if you got 2,000, you can put all your money in on it.
This nigga making it sound so good, boy.
That's how they do though,
Right.
don't they?
That's a rug right there.
What'd you say, J. Cole? Ain't that how they do it?
Bro, ain't it like they usually allow 10% of retail and then they allow 35% this
They
time?
usually they usually allow 5 to 10%, about 3 to 5%, or yeah, 5 to 10%. This time they're allowing 30% of retail to get access to their shares, the biggest ever in history. So you start thinking like, bro, if I got 2,000 to my name and all I need for SpaceX to do is to go to the moon, literally, no pun intended. Um, if it goes to the moon, bro, I can turn this 2,000 into a million. And then once everybody throw their 2,000 in, watch it go. And then like J. Cole just said, man, that thing can dump on us, bro. That thing
It's
can dump.
going to dump.
That thing can dump on us. So next Thursday, keep that on your calendar. That's something that we looking out for. That's probably gonna be a huge day. We gonna watch it, bro. We gonna watch it. We gonna see what it do Thursday morning. Um, man, we you never know what can happen, bro. You never know what can happen. Is that Thursday morning? Let me see. The 12th. That is actually, yeah, Thursday morning. Thursday morning we're gonna see SpaceX IPO.
Yeah, I
130.
think that market. I think the market gonna do a tremendous drop that day. Everybody gonna be trying to move their money.
They probably gonna do it before, bro. Like a couple days before. Probably gonna
You
do it a
think
couple days.
next Tuesday, next Monday?
Yeah, because you got a low key from an institutional side, I'm not calling them idiots, but you got to be an idiot for on the day of the IPO, your ass finally get cash available to buy the stock. Nah, you supposed to have cash available 3 months ago, so you can already be programming. Hey, we're gonna put in 5 billion here, and then we're gonna put 5 billion in 3 weeks, and then we're gonna put 5 billion in. You already got to have your plan of how much money you want to allocate, especially to a new IPO.
SpaceX.
Yeah, you're not about to just the same day we gonna sell all our shares in this and we gonna rotate it. Nah, you probably ain't gonna do that. If you do that shit, your ass need to be um in the ecosystem with us, nigga.
I said an ecosystem with us,
You need
nigga.
to be in the ecosystem with us, learning what to do and what not to do. So yeah, that's that. PDT, last couple things we'll talk about. We're gonna get off here. PDT, pattern day trading rules. I talked about this earlier. They just removed the PDT. So what that means is if you buy a contract and you sell in the same day, you can do that as much as you want now. It used to be standard if you buy and sell in the same day 4 times within 5 business days, you'll get logged as a PDT, pattern day trader. You logged as a PDT, you got to deposit minimum $25,000 in your account immediately because you basically they look at you like you getting over on the system. You buying, you selling all in the same day. Nah, bro, you can't do that. You ain't finna be able to do that. They just removed that rule where you can buy and sell as much as you want. So I know Tev on here. Tev love buying and selling, getting in little day trades. Tev can get in the morning at 9:45, buy something. He can sell at 9:50. He can get back in it at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. He can get out at 10:05. He can get back in at noon. He can get out at 12:30. He can get back in at 2. He can get out at 3. He can get back in at 3:30. He can get out right at the close. He can make as many trades as he wants in his account for however long he want, whenever he wants it now. They just remove that rule. So just be mindful, bro. It's the casino on steroids. Me personally, I like the market not being open on the weekends. Me personally, I like the pattern day trader rule, right? I like these rules. I like not being able to trade.
Safeguards.
Yep, I like not being able to trade options overnight, over the weekend. I like that because what it forces you to do, you got a window during the day to lose all the goddamn money you're gonna lose. After that market close, you can't do nothing about it.
You can't do nothing about it.
Now, what they're trying to do, they're trying to push 24/7 trading. They're trying to extend it to Saturday and Sunday. They said, well, Bitcoin already trades Saturday and Sunday, so why not trade stocks Saturday and Sunday? They're trying to push options trading overnight for select stocks. So your big dogs, you're gonna be able to see Nvidia, Meta, Microsoft, probably SpaceX, when Anthropic IPOs. You're gonna start seeing a lot of those big dogs have option chains available at 1 o'clock in the morning. At 1 o'clock in the morning. So the casino, bro, they're trying to extend the casino. Why are they trying to open it up like that? Everybody's not making money, bro. They trying to open it up like that because if you already an addict, the best thing as a seller to addicts is to extend the hours of operation. If you a crackhead and I'm only out there on the block at night, the best thing I can do is open my hours to not only being at night, but being in the daytime and in the morning time too. You can come get crack from me in the morning,
That
middle of the day, and at night. Now I got a super sting. Now I not only have a super sting, I got stings at nighttime, and I got clientele of stings during the day, and I got clientele of stings in the morning. So now what happens is I'm taking more money, more clients, but that also shows you on the other side, it's gonna be more people blowing their account. It's gonna be more people committing suicide. It's gonna be more people financially distressed. It's gonna be more people that are not getting sleep. It's gonna be more people in depression. So that's the bad side. The good side, oh yeah, I can trade all night. Bro, you probably not even gonna sleep no more. People are already barely sleeping because you want to see what that market doing overnight when you in a play. You know damn well you put too much money on that play and you up overnight checking your Robinhood like, God damn, bro, this joint down. It's only down 20 by the market open. It can be down on like 5 or I'm gonna be straight by the time what happens when the market is open all night, bro?
night.
All night and on Saturdays.
What is even the safeguard? Like, how do you even trade that at that point?
You can't, bro. So what happens is you need to have a strategy that is gonna be recession proof as this thing gets worse and worse and worse. What does that mean? Ian Dunlap, he has a two take two index strategy. Myself, I have buy on a deep discount, right? Buy quality assets and buy time. Buy your shares or you buying leaps on your plays, bro. And you just keep rinsing, repeating. What happens is over time, you're gonna have red days, you're gonna have red weeks, you're gonna have red months, potentially gonna have a red year. But as you keep doing this strategy and putting money in as the market keeps going down, over time, things are going to level themselves out. So you got your people that are day trading, week to week, day to day. They probably, man, it's probably tough right now. The zero DTEs, like, man, it's probably tough. The reason why I had to stop doing zero DTEs, I don't know if y'all know what this means. 0 days till expiration. That means you playing with a contract and it expires the same day. The reason why I had to stop doing it is because it was causing me so much stress because the money that I wanted to make during those zero DTEs, once you start making money with zero DTEs, you start feeling invincible. And that, bro, I'm telling you, for me, I'm like, bro, I just made $100 and it went to $300, $400 in like an hour on the zero DTE. I'm like, let me up this amount. I did $500, I made like 3,000. I said, bro, I'm really him. Like, I'm really him with this. I upped it to about 5,000. It was trickery. I got out like 5,500, made 500 bucks. I'm like, that was a little scary. That kind of shook me up a little bit. Like, damn, it went down 2,000, went up 3,000, went. I'm like, let me get out of here. Did it again, bro. When I was at 7,000 in the account, when I had 7,000 a day in a zero DT. 7,000 went up to 7,500 in less than 25 minutes. The 7,500 was at $100. 7,500 was at $100. Those zero DTEs, they happen so fast that I was stressing myself out where I didn't want to do that no more. Yes, you can hit a couple times, but the worst thing that you can do when you hit on that is that you feel invincible, bro. And for me personally, I was doing that and I said, man, I got to change my strategy up. I can't keep doing a zero DTE because why? If I'm not on my chart all day, on my computer all day to watch it like that, I'm really gonna get cooked. Especially if I'm in meetings or I'm on the phone or I'm at work or I'm doing this or I got other obligations. You take your eyes off your screen for like 10 minutes. that entire contract is going to be zero. That's why, for me personally, the best strategy I came up for myself that's obviously been working for me is buying on a deep discount, waiting for those prices to calm down, right? Buying time, buying a leap option, buying something out for a month, 2 months, 3 months, buying something out for a year, and buying a quality company. I'm not buying AT&T. I'm not buying BBAI, right? I'm not buying GRAB right now. I'm not buying a lot of the penny stocks right now. Why? Because they don't have a proven track record for growth, right? Yes, it's speculative. They're cheaper. They can grow potentially, but they don't have a proven track record. When I put my money up, bro, I want to put up my dollar like, damn, I cannot afford to lose this. Right? And if someone asks you and say, hey, yo, your next investment, if your life was on the line, would you make that investment? When you start looking at stuff like this, you like, bro, I don't know if I'm gonna put my money in on that right now. I don't know if I'm gonna buy in these next couple of days. And they said the market might sell off and stuff. He said if my life on the line, I don't know if I'm gonna put all my money in right now. Market selling off, right? I want to buy a quality company. I want to buy on a deep ass discount, and I want to buy a whole bunch of time on it. That's either buying shares or me buying my contracts out for some time. If I can control those three things, bro, I'm gonna be straight. I'm gonna be straight over time. I'm buying quality companies that are ruling the world. I'm buying on a deep discount. I ain't buying at all-time highs. And I'm buying time. I'm buying it out for 6 months to a year, 4 months, 3 months. Bro, I'm gonna make some money, bro. I'm gonna make some money. So with that being said, that's our call, man. Number 30 in the books. Man, y'all get some rest. Um, we're gonna have a good June. We're gonna be prepared. I have those price targets out this weekend. We got a new tab on Circle. If you can see on the tabs, you got your member lounge, you got your feed, and then you got something called your new plays. I just put that tab in there, or instead of us going all the way back to Notion to look at those tabs to see those new plays, it's gonna be right there on Circle. You're gonna see the new plays that we put in right there on Circle. Okay. So with that being said, bro, Invest Fest August. I'm flying in on Thursday morning. We all black with it. Tickets are around 130, $140 round trip. So y'all definitely should look at that from Atlanta, wherever you're flying from. If you're coming from Indiana, I'm coming from Texas, some people coming from California, from the East Coast, New York, all that. Definitely look at that. Get your tickets now. It's gonna be a movie this year. So with that being said, family, y'all get some rest, man, and we in the chat.
All right, brother.
See y'all later.
Okay, family. All right, y'all.
All right, man.
All right, family.
All right, family.
Yes, sir.